I stand today in support of S-139, the FISA Amendment Reauthorization Act. As we know, the first responsibility of government, of this United States government, is to protect our citizens. To do so, we must make sure that those who protect us have the tools to keep us safe. This bill does exactly that. It provides the intelligence community and law enforcement with the right tools, but it also mines the civil liberties and the privacy protections that our Constitution requires, especially given the ever-changing technological landscape. The importance of our country's safety and security has been highlighted in several events from just the past 2 years. Now, we often get lost in the constant news cycle, but let's not forget that New York City suffered 3 significant terrorist attacks in the last 15 months alone. September 2016, a terrorist detonated a pressure cooker bomb in New York's Chelsea neighborhood. A second pressure cooker bomb was found a few blocks away, but didn't detonate. Earlier the same day, a bomb went off near the start of the Marine Corps charity race. This past October, Saiful Saipov drove a rented truck onto the bike lane and pedestrian walkway at the West Side Highway. He mowed down numerous civilians, killing 8 and injuring 12. And this past December, another one detonated a bomb in New York City subway tunnel to the Port Authority bus terminal, injuring several people near him. He told investigators that he did it in the name of ISIS. In June 2016, Omar Mateen shot and killed 49 and injured 53 others in Orlando, also an act in the name of ISIS. In September 2016, a terrorist stabbed 10 people in the mall, St. Cloud, Minnesota. November 2016, a terrorist injured 13 after driving into and trying to stab students and teachers at Ohio State. And in December 2015, we had the San Bernardino shooting, where terrorists killed 14 and injured 22. We've also seen terrorist incidents involving around the world, especially impacting our friends in Europe. In the UK alone, there have been at least a half a dozen terrorist attacks in the past years, including a subway bombing in London, injuring 30 people, a van plowing down pedestrians on the London Bridge, injuring 48 and killing 8, and the Manchester concert bombing, in which 22 people were killed, and the attack on British Parliament in London, killing 4, including a person from Utah. All of these attacks and more show the threats are real, and we must protect our country by lawful constitutional means. Congress has done so by providing lawful authority, such as Section 702. The 702 program has been called the most significant tool in the NSA arsenal for the detection and disruption of terrorist threats. The NSA director has said publicly that there is no alternative way to replicate 702 collection. Some estimates that over 25% of all current U.S. intelligence is based upon Section 702. There are some key examples. Haji Iman rose from a high school teacher to become the second in command of ISIS. He was the main focus of NSA's counterterrorism efforts. The United States government offered a $7 million reward for information leading to his capture. We spent over 2 years looking for him. He was ultimately captured based almost exclusively on intelligence information from 702. Zazi is in prison for planning an attack of the New York City subway systems with explosives in 2009. He received explosive training in Pakistan from Al-Qaeda. He was discovered after he corresponded with an email address used by an Al-Qaeda courier in Pakistan seeking advice on how to build explosives. The 702 program uncovered the correspondence. Without that discovery, the subway bombing plot might have succeeded. October 2013, the FBI began investigating Sean Parson, a foreigner from Trinidad and Tobago, after Parson began posting comments online expressing a desire to commit attack against Western interests. Information collected through 702 revealed Parson's efforts and was instrumental in identifying additional members of Parson's network. Through the 702 program, the FBI assisted foreign partners to identify the individual who committed the 2016 New York Eve's terrorist attack at a nightclub in Turkey. During that attack, 38 people were killed, including an American citizen. And those are just from unclassified examples. It is important to remind my colleagues of the purpose behind 702. It provides the government the authority to collect the electronic communications of foreigners located outside of the United States. Under 702, it's against the law to target anyone in the United States or any American citizen, wherever that citizen is in the world. The program is targeted. It is not a bulk collection system. Furthermore, the FISA court must approve targeting procedures to ensure that only appropriate individuals are subject to surveillance. Minimization procedures limit the handling and use of information that is collected. All three branches of government have a hand in overseeing the program to protect the constitutional rights of the American people. It is also important to remind my colleagues that this legislation was first signed into law in 2008, when we took up consideration in 2012 and debated the law. We authorized this legislation with no changes. The 2012 clean reauthorization had the full support of President Obama. Some of our Senate colleagues oppose this bill. Their first and most consistent claim is that Section 702 violates the Fourth Amendment. Our colleagues claim that it is an end run around the Constitution. Others call it a legal loophole, a backdoor, or warrantless surveillance. Nothing could be further from the truth. Section 702 is fully consistent with the Constitution. Every federal court to review 702, even including the very liberal Ninth Circuit, has upheld the law. The Supreme Court's recent decision to deny review of the Ninth Circuit case lets stand that court's decision. These courts consistently determine that a warrant is not required to collect or query 702 information. Moreover, the Independent P Club Review Board has reviewed the entire legal framework of 702 and also found it to be constitutional. The other main claim against this bill is that it provides new powers to the government. Again, this is not true. Nevertheless, this bill does include some significant reforms. First, the bill requires the FBI to get a warrant in some criminal cases. In other words, we've added a warrant where courts have held none are necessary. The bill also provides protection for whistleblowers and requires an Inspector General report. In short, this bill provides our government the tools it needs to protect our national security while providing some much-needed transparency measures and increased privacy and civil liberties protections. So you can tell, I'm very strongly in support of this legislation. I urge my colleagues to vote in favor of this very important national security protection legislation.